the point of this whole presentation is, how many of you guys have ever launched a funnel and then you get all excited, you try it, and then nothing happens? You launch it and it doesn't work. No one's ever done that? All right. So inside the inner circle, I always tell people, they get in, they're all excited, they're building the first funnel, they're about to launch it, and before, there's always the night before, they're like, Russell, I'm launching my funnel tomorrow, I'm so excited, and I'm always like, okay, I gotta break this down to you. I know you're really excited, you're on cloud 9, but I want to burst your bubble really quick for a second. And I'm like, okay, this is the deal. When you launch tomorrow, chances are it's gonna completely flop. And what? That's not the motivational, Russell, we were expecting to hear. I'm like, I know, but if you think everyone thinks the first time it's going to be this huge success, and they're banking to do the math in their head. They're like, if only 1% of 1% behind, I'm going to make $1 million in the next 3 days. It's going to be amazing. And I'm like, okay, but it's just so you know, it's probably going to flop the very first time. You got to become okay with that right now, because otherwise tomorrow I'm going to get a box from you crying oh, Russell, this funnel thing's a scam. It doesn't actually work. Okay? And you have to understand, the way that this works. Typically you put something out there, and the first time it doesn't really work that well. Okay, and I want you guys to be okay with that. As soon as you become okay with that, this game becomes really, 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 really fun. So this presentation I wanted to get to do, because I want to help you guys understand that the funnels we launch don't typically work the first time. Most people's funnels don't work the first time. But if you understand how to work through the process, that's okay. It becomes a really fun part of the game. Okay, now I want to kind of step back before I go too deep in this presentation. I wasn't telling my dad this, but I actually want my dad to come up on stage real quick. But this is my dad's very first Funnel Hacking Live event he's ever been to. Dad, if you come up real quick. So this is my dad. He is the entrepreneur that inspired me to become an entrepreneur. If any of you guys need help with books, accounting, taxes, finance, business structure, he is the man to do all that stuff for you. So there's my pitch he was not expecting for. How many of you guys use my dad right now to do your books and your accounting? All right, he's amazing and insanely inexpensive, which I don't understand. I'm trying to get him to, we'll get there eventually. But I wanted to bring my dad on stage for a specific purpose related to this event, or to this presentation. So a lot of you guys know I was a wrestler growing up. My dad was a wrestler, and he was my coach. And before my junior year in high school, my whole life, I wanted to be a state champ. I want to be a state champ. I want to be a state champ. In my junior year, we came to the very first match, and I was telling everyone I knew, I'm going to be a state champ, I'm going to be a state champ. In my very first match, I came out there and wrestled a guy named Nick Fresquez from Hunter High School. And I went out there, and my dad was filming the match. We were so excited because I was going to be a state champ. This was going to be the first guy. And he'd actually taken second place in state the year before. So I'm like, this is my chance to show everybody I'm going to be a state champ. And I went out there, and I got beat. Pretty bad, huh? And this is the first match of the season, and I am just broken, destroyed. And I was just bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I was supposed to be a state champ, and I lost my very first match. And everyone was just like, I thought you lost? I thought you were going to be state champ. I'm like, I know. And I was just humiliated. And the same experience I think a lot of you guys go through when you first launch your funnel. You have all this hope, and all summer long, I was telling I'm state champ. This is my goal, and then it didn't happen. And for me, as a person, as a 16-year-old kid, I was broken. I was like, I don't know what to do. And luckily for me, I had my dad, and my dad had filmed the entire match. And that night we went home, my dad watched the match, and he watched it. And I went to bed that night, fell asleep, and he probably spent the next 10 hours watching the match over and over and over and over and over again. And I woke up in the morning depressed and sad and just wanting to walk away. And I woke up and I see him, and he's all excited. He hadn't slept all night. He had a bunch of notes. He's like, okay, Russell, I know exactly what he did to you and how he did it, and we're going to go drill this. And I'm like, I don't want to, I want to be depressed for a while. Let me be depressed. He's like, no, come here. And he gets me on the carpet. This is before school, and he's showing me, hey, he did this to you here, and this is why, because your hips were in the wrong place, and you got this, and he's showing me thing after thing after thing. And we drilled every single night for the next 4 months what he did to me, how he did it to me, over and over and over again. He would come after practice. I get in with practice, he'd get off work, he'd come back over, and we drill again. After everyone else went home, we sit in the room, we drill over and over and over again, the moves that he had done to me to get better and better and better. And 4 months later, we were at the state tournament, and I was on one side of the bracket, and Nick Fresquez was on the other side of the bracket, and as we started going, we got closer and closer and closer. We ended up that me and him were in the finals together. And before the finals match, I think we went through the matches again, we watched it again, we drilled the moves again, and we went out that night for the state tournament my junior year, and we wrestled that match. And I tell you what, I had practiced beating Nick Fresquez multiple times a day for 4 months, and we went out there on the mat not only did I win that match, but the move that he beat me with, I used that exact same move on him to win the tournament and become a state champ. And so this is a lesson I learned from my dad that has carried over into business. If it wasn't for him, I would have just been depressed and would have given up. And so this presentation I want to share with you guys today is about not being depressed and giving up. Like, how do we make those tweaks and those changes to make your funnel go from a loser to an okay to a winner? And so I just want to thank my dad so much for that learning experience he gave me, and just thank him so much for everything. So, love you, Dad. Hey.
Good story.
Thanks. Okay, so when you guys have a chance to launch your funnel, step number 1, plan on it failing and being completely okay with that. In fact, the faster it fails, the faster you're like, sweet. Okay, so that's the process. Now, one thing to give you hope before we dive too deep into this. Gary Halbert, the late Gary Halbert, I had a chance to actually interview him once in my life before he passed away, which was one of the most amazing experiences ever. But Gary is one of the godfathers of our industry, one of the best copywriters ever. If you go to the GaryHalbertLetter.com, you can still read all his newsletters from the past like 20 years, like some of the best marketing stuff ever. But I heard Gary say on an interview with Mark Joyner, which was one of the coolest interviews ever. Anyway, he said, properly exploited, one good idea that occurs to you while walking on the beach is worth more than 10 lifetimes of hard work. And that honestly is like, if I was to tweak that statement for me, like one good funnel executed properly is worth more than 10 lifetimes of hard work. Okay? It's worth putting in the energy, because if you get one of these things right, like it'll transform your life forever. Okay? And I want you to understand there's been multiple times. Last year at this event, I did a presentation called You're One Funnel Away, and I told about all the failures I had. How many of you guys remember that? I cried like a little baby. It was really embarrassing. But there was like a funnel every single time that saved my business and took me to the next level. And so this is why it's worth it to go through all this pain, this effort of testing and tweaking, because when you nail it and you get it right, again, one good funnel is worth more than 10 lifetimes of hard work. Okay, so it's worth putting in the effort and the energy. Now, I want to kind of lead this one off, making fun of our friends, but for a good purpose. How many of you guys, your funnels look a little bit like this when you get started? No one wants to admit it, but come on. For some reason, us funnel people, we think we're so smart and we're so cool, and so we've designed funnels. And this is literally, I found this funnel on somebody, they were bragging in a blog post about their funnel, and they showed this picture. And I was like, what are you supposed to do with that? Okay? I had somebody who joined one of our coaching programs a while ago, and they had a call with me, and they were so proud to show me. And it was something similar, like, you want to see my funnel? I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. And they're like, blah, and they showed me this, and I was like, what? I was like, is it doing well? They're like, no. And they're like, what should you do, Russell? Like, what should I do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, but you're the funnel guy. That's why we paid you all the money. I'm like, yeah, but I'm confused. I don't even know where to start. Okay? Now, this is why I want you guys to understand this. Complexity is not your friend in the funnel game. Okay? Having 8,000 variations of things back and forth is not going to help you. There's a big reason why ClickFunnels is simple. There's a big reason why we hasn't given you guys a drag and drop builder like this, because you guys will screw up your entire business. You have 8,000 variations of it. Well, someone clicks on this email, but not this email, let's do this and not this. And like, it gets so complex. And the problem with this is when you drive some traffic into this funnel and things start happening and it doesn't work, I don't know what to do. I have no idea. My funnels are all very, very simple. This is what my funnels look like. And this is the key, because when I look at this, if that's what it looks like, if I spend some money, I drive some traffic in the funnel, if something's broken, I know there's like 4 options. I fix one of the options and all of a sudden it's working. And that's what I'm going to show you guys today. I'm going to show you behind the scenes of a whole bunch of our funnels, because they're all very, 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 very simple, and they make a crap ton of money. Okay, and that's the key to this business. Okay, so the question I get all the time, number 1, is how do you know when you have a winner? Because sometimes what's going to happen is you're going to have a funnel that's like amazing, and you're like, I have no idea if this is good or not. I'm going to show an example of that in a second. The second question is, if I don't have a winner and I get completely knocked out, like what should I do instead? So for this presentation, I'm basically going to become the Apollo Creed for you for funnel hacking. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do, okay? All right, a good example of this is Moss and Miguel in the room. I'm not sure if you guys are here or not. They're not here, all right. So they messaged me the other day, and they're like, hey, Russell, we had this funnel, went live. And they had no idea if it did any good. So this is the first Vox they sent me. They said, Russell, what are the numbers supposed to be like? And they showed me this funnel. It was like 32% on the thing, on the order form bump, 16% on first upsell, and like, they showed me all the numbers, and I was like, holy crap, Mike, this is amazing. And then they wrote back, they're like, really? Oh, we're freaking out. And they're like, we're dancing and screaming. They had no idea their funnel was even good. It was like rock star numbers. They're like, so was it good? Was it bad? So I'm gonna kind of show you guys numbers and stats so you have some idea of like what's good, what's not good, and how to understand what is, okay? So that's what we're going through. Now, this presentation is gonna get a little bit into the math of marketing, but the good news is I'm really bad at math, and so there's only 2 numbers you have to ever understand to be successful, okay? And these are them. Number 1 is called CPA, cost per acquisition. How much does it cost you to get a customer, okay? And second one is ACV, average cart value. How much money do you make from that person on average when they're inside of your funnel? That's it. Those are the 2 numbers, okay? Now, this whole game is like arbitrage when you understand that, okay? So my goal is I want to make sure that my CPA is smaller than my ACV. Okay, my kids have been learning like greater than, less than, equal to. That's all the math you got to know, okay? So I drive traffic, I buy ads, I figure what's my cost to acquire a customer, and I look at how much do I make from that customer. And if the number on this side is bigger than the number on this side, then we have a big smiley face and we win and we have a big party. That's it. Now, if you do the same thing and it's the opposite way where you spend more money than you get, your cost to acquire customers more than you actually make from the person, then you have a frowny face and we got to fix something. That's it. That's the math you got to understand. You guys okay with that? Okay, it's not calculus. It's literally greater than, less than, or equal to. Like, that's all we got to figure out here in this game. Okay? All right, so here's the funnel hackers mindset you guys have to understand if you're going to win this game. Number 1, you need to create something fast. Don't spend 6, 8, 12, 10 months trying to build a funnel. Create something quickly because we have no idea if it's going to work anyway. So we got to create something fast. That's what ClickFunnels gives you the power to do, is to develop things very, very quickly. In the past, it took us on average 3 months to build a funnel before ClickFunnels. So I had to wait 90 days before I could even test something. Then we would test it, and we only had 1 out of 4 funnels a year that would work. Okay? So it took a long time. We can do things fast. Number 2, understand most of my funnels start off bad, and that's okay. Okay, I try to figure out I'm gonna do my best guess possible. I'm gonna try my best, but I wanna go out there and lose quickly. Okay, my wrestling match my junior year, I'm so grateful I lost because I knew exactly what I needed to do to win. Okay, so it was okay. It was devastating to me at the time, but that was the key to me winning later. Okay, so I wanna create a funnel, put it out there fast, and then what I like to do is I like to invest about $1,000. Now for all you guys, businesses can be different. Maybe it's $500, maybe it's $200, but I like to invest about $1,000. So we'll create the funnel, the best possible version that we know. I spend $1,000, and then I stop and I just sit there for a couple days. I just let the ads come through and I just sit there and hang out. Okay? Now what's cool about this thing is while this is happening, I'm sitting back and I'm watching, the market is gonna tell me what works. Okay, number 1 question I get from people like, Russell, can you look at my funnel and tell me if it's gonna work or not? How many of my inner circle people know what I tell you every single time? No. Because I could potentially destroy your funnel. I am not your market. The only person's opinion we should care about are the customers who are coming to your funnel. And the question is, are they gonna pull their credit card out of their wallet and vote with their credit card? That's the only opinion I care about. I don't even care about my own opinion. I don't trust my own opinion. I've done enough split testing to know that I'm wrong most of the time. So I don't trust my own opinion. You shouldn't trust your opinion either. Do the best possible thing you can based on like funnel hacking. Look at other people's funnels. Do the best thing you can, and then throw $1,000 at it and just see what happens. Let the market tell you what's right and what's wrong. Okay? I always tell everyone that asks me, I said, spend $1,000, come back and tell me the numbers, then I'll tell you what's working or not. They're like, well, can you just check it out and look at it and let me know? I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. The market's gonna tell you. Don't trust me, don't trust anybody else, trust the market. Okay? They don't lie. They vote with their credit cards, and that's the only vote that actually matters. Okay? All right, so we do that. We invest $1,000, let the market tell us what they want. They vote with their wallet. And after that happens, after you spend 2 or 3 days, traffic's coming through, then when it's done, we stop and we look at the analytics and say, okay, what just happened? And based on what happened, then we figure out what changes we're gonna make. And after we make those changes, those tweaks, then we go back, we buy some more market research. I spend another $500, $1,000. I drive that into the funnel again. And then the market will tell me, like, yes, that worked, that didn't work. We make some changes. We do it 2 or 3 times. Usually within 2 or 3 times, we have a funnel that wins. But my first funnel rarely, if ever, wins. Just so you guys are all fully aware of that. If you think I have some magic Midas touch, it's not true. I do the best I can. We drive some traffic, and we start making tweaks afterwards. Okay? All right, so this is the graph that we're going to use. This is kind of what we use in our office. It's very simple. It's very easy. You can use this. Use some variation in this. We'll get you slides afterwards if you guys want to use ours. But it's very, very simple. This is how we do our math, okay? So the left-hand side here is our cost per acquisition. How much does it cost to get somebody to buy my thing? That's it, okay? So we're running a whole bunch of ads. So these are Facebook ads. This campaign I'm gonna show you guys is the Expert Secrets book funnel. So these are different ads we ran to sell books. So each ad has a different cost per acquisition. So for the top ad, it costs about $8.51 to sell one of my books. The next ad was $6.01 to sell a book. Next was $8.21, $12.21, and $5.06. So every ad's gonna be a little bit different. So the cost per acquisition, it kind of ebbs and flows with with the ad, with timing, and over time and duration, the cost will go up, but it's kind of in that window there, okay? So for this right now, during this time period that I'm going to show you guys this funnel Audible test, we averaged about $9.17 to get to sell an actual copy of our book. That was the average across all the ads we were running. Okay, that's number one. Number two, then we have our very simple, very basic funnel. This was the initial Expert Secrets funnel. That's it. People are like, Russell, that funnel was so cool. How did you do it? Like, I drew 4 boxes on a whiteboard, and then we went to ClickFunnels, and we busted it out to make it look similar, okay? Now, after we did that, we set it up, we drove traffic, and I'm going to show you guys the initial numbers. So the initial landing page, page number 1, we were getting 15.6% of the people to fill out that first page. Then the second page where they put in, and so if you look over here, my average cart value so far is 0. I've made $0 so far, right, on that first page. But 15.6% gave me their full shipping information on step number 1. Step number 2 now is where we actually asked them to buy the product. The initial one, 3.5% people bought. So based on if they bought free or international, the average of there was, we were making about $22.33 was our average cart value so far from step number 1 in the funnel, okay? Then we had our order form bump for $37. We had 10.2% people take that, which added $3.77 to our average cart value. Then we had the first OTO at $47, and 11% of people took that, which averaged $5.17 to our cart value. So basically what happens is our average cart value, if you add up how much money we made on average from everyone who went through this funnel, it was $31.27. We subtract how much it cost to acquire that customer, $9.17. So our total that we made was $22.10 for every single book we sold, okay? So looking at that, like, that's a pretty good funnel. We spend $10, we make $30, we're netting $22.10 from the funnel. So it wasn't too bad. I'm looking at like, okay, overall that's a pretty good funnel, okay? But then after I spend the $1,000 of traffic comes through, I look at that, I'm like, okay, what can I do better on? Like, which one's working, which one's not working? I just look at the numbers and I try to figure out, well, what should we test first? Okay, I want you guys to have a mantra in your mind. I want you to think in every single day, how can I give myself a raise today? Every morning you wake up, you get in the office like, how can I give myself a raise today? How can I give myself a raise today? Like, that's the mantra you should always be having. So you come in the office, you look at the numbers, okay, here's the numbers. I'm looking at it. There's only a couple things I can change. I can tweak my ad. I can tweak my landing page. I can tweak my offer 1, offer 2. Like, that's it. There's only 4 or 5 things I can change. Okay, this funnel was not working. Same thing. I'm looking at the numbers. The market told me this is what's working, and I'm going to figure out which one of these things I want to fix. Okay? All right. Now, one question people ask me a lot is over here on the ad side, like, how many ads should you have? How many of you guys have just one ad that you're running right now into one of your funnels? How many of you guys have like 2 ads running your funnels? How many of you guys have 4 ads, 5 ads? Okay, this will probably shock some of you guys. For the Expert Secrets funnel, guess how many ads we had running into this thing? That was about 1/4 of them during the initial launch. Okay? I want you guys to change your mindset about this. Lemon's like, I ran my ad and now it's whatever. You make a lot of ads. I was hanging out with Dean Graciosi about a month ago in their office. How many of you guys have seen his ads online? They're selling a lot of books. They're selling 4 times more books than us. And I went there, I'm like, dude, how are you selling? Like, we're pushing the pedal to the metal all the time. Like, how are you selling so many more books than me? And he said, Russell, and this was like such a powerful thing. Dean's been on infomercials for the last 20 plus years on TV somewhere in the world, constantly 24 hours a day for the last 20 plus years doing infomercials, right? He said that was interesting. He said, when I created an infomercial, it would last for 18 months on average. And after 18 months, he said the cost to acquire a customer would get bigger and bigger. So many people have seen the infomercial, it becomes less effective. In about 18 months, you have to go make a new show. And he did that for 20 years. So he's looking at every year and a half how to make a new show. He's like, now I'm doing this internet thing with you guys. He's like, the online ads, he's like, our average online ad only works for about 3 weeks. It works, and then the cost gets bigger, 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 and it dies. He's like, so what I figured out is I can't just do 1 or 2 or 3 ads. He's like, I need to be doing 1 or 2 or 3 ads a week, every single week, consistently, all the time. So if you look at Dean right now, that's where we got the book burning idea. He was burning books. He's in the cryo sauna. He's jumping out of planes. Like, he's just doing all sorts of stuff, making as many different creatives as he can, because you have to have lots and lots and lots of creatives, okay? Because online, it runs out, like they wear out very, very quickly. One of the first people I interviewed was a guy named Vincent James. He was a 28-year-old kid that made $100 million selling supplements through direct mail. And I remember talking to him, and he was doing it all through direct mail. I asked him about the internet. He's like, the internet's kind of cool, but he's like, I feel like I'm in a Ferrari on a dead-end road. I get in there, I start running, and then I run out of road. He's like, offline, again, infomercials, direct mail, so he's like, I feel like I can run forever. But he's like, online is way shorter. And I never knew what he meant until I kind of understood this. Like, that's the problem. You create an ad and it works. But what happens is the ad that initially is costing you $5 to acquire a book customer, right? As you keep running, soon it'll go to $6, then $7, then $8, then $10, then $15, then $20. And eventually it's like, it costs too much now to keep running that ad. Luckily for me, Dan's ad with him drunk has been running forever and is still profitable. So thank you again for that. Okay? But you guys got to get in the mindset of creating lots and lots and lots of creative. Everywhere you go, you should have your camera and like, hey, I'm here right now at Funnel Hacking Live, and if you don't have a free copy of my blah, blah, like you should be selling stuff, like creating creative all the time and testing out, because to win in this game, to be able to scale funnels is all about lots and lots and lots of creative, okay? Now, the CPAs are going to change throughout time. Like I said, even in my graphs I'm going to show you guys through my funnel Audibles, you'll notice the dollars going up and down because it's fluctuating week by week, anywhere from $7 low and up to $23 during this testing process we were doing, okay? All right, so let me come back. So this is the numbers I showed you for the Expert Secrets funnel when we very first launched it. Okay, so after we did that, I'm looking at it, I'm like, hey, what should I test first? How do I give myself a raise today? That was the question I asked myself and my team when we came to the office. How do we give ourselves a raise today? And we're looking at this, we're like, okay, 15% is okay, 3%, like which one should we tackle first? And I was like, I feel like that one seems really low to me. Like, I like that closer to like 20%, so 10 was like half of what I thought it should have been. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to figure out that one. So this is the very first funnel audible I called. So look at that, and this is what the order form bump looked like. Okay, it was converting at 10.2%, and I was like, hey, this is too low. And I'm reading there, I'm like, what can I tweak? And I didn't know, but I was like, I think that the offer is too confusing. So if you look, it says, one-time offer, want to create new products fast? Get my 24-hour expert training today for $47, and I'll give you a free copy of my story selling, how to sell without selling. Click yes to this box. And so I was like, maybe it's just too confusing. I'm selling two things. It's like, order form bumps are like, the way I think of order form bumps, it's like you're at the grocery store, the checkout line, and there's gum right there on the side. You're like, oh, I want some gum or some Tic Tacs. Like, that's what order form bumps are. Like, it's just like a quick impulse buy. I'm like, if only 10% are buying, like, it's not impulsive enough. Like, how do I need to figure out a way to make this simpler or easier. So that was kind of my thought process. So the idea for this funnel audible is like, let's simplify this offer. Now, just so you guys know, we didn't change the product in the back end. They still got this exact same thing, whether they bought however many they bought, but I simplified the offer. So what we did is took this one, it's converted 10.2%, and I rewrote it. And so now it's just simply selling one thing, what I thought the best one was. So it says, story selling secrets, want a huge 90% discount on our best-selling course. This course will give you blah, blah, blah. So I just simplified the offer a little bit, but it literally the exact same offer, simplified it, and we went from a 10.2% conversion rate. After the next funnel audible, we ran some traffic through it, moved from a 10.2% conversion rate to a 17.4% conversion rate, which means that bumped up to $6.44, which means our average cart value went from $31, it bumped up to $33. Boom, it's got me like $2.50 for every single book sold increase. So now my total profit now is $26.80. Okay, so that was the first audible. So now I'm looking at like, okay, that's good, we're getting better. Like, what else can I do? I'm looking at this, and for me, like on a free plus shipping offer, I want to have about at least $30 to $35 I want my average cart value to be. And I was like, it's going to be hard for me to make tweaks to get it that much higher. So it's like, I feel like I need to add another upsell. This was a very short funnel. I'm like, I want to add one more upsell because I think that's what we need to do. Actually, during this time, we were, how many of you guys saw the viral video we launched with the gold prospect and everything? So we were actually in Park City, Utah, or excuse me, Sundance, Utah, in the cabin with the Harmon brothers, writing the script for that. And while they're writing the script and doing stuff, we were sitting there and I'm like, we have to it was the middle of the book launch. I'm like, we have to make this funnel better. Like, what should we do? What should we do? And then I was like, that's the numbers I'm looking at. I'm like, we need to add another upsell. I'm like, what should that be? And I was like, hey, we got to figure something out. So the second audible is add a second upsell. And so literally went in the backyard of the cabin that we were in, and we got out the video camera. It started raining on us. It was raining. The sun was about to come down. And we're like, we have to launch this tonight. And so I don't know where Brandon is at. Brandon got his camera out. We're filming this whole thing. And basically I said, okay, we're going to add a second upsell. And I got to figure out, what's the hook to this upsell? Okay, someone just bought my product. And I'm walking you guys through my thinking process. I want you guys thinking about this, like the same way I'm thinking, like, what could the upsell be? Like, what's the hook? What's the offer? Like, what could it be? And so I was like, okay, someone bought the Expert Secrets book. The first upsell they bought was like the audio book. I'm like, here's the pieces they have. And I was like, what would be really, really cool is a lot of people are scared of being the expert. Like, they might buy the book, but they're like, they have internal fear about that. I was like, what do I have that can help with that? And we're sitting there brainstorming. I was like, you know what would be really, really cool is Garrett White, who's spoken to all of our Funnel Hacking Live events. He'll be here Saturday. I'm like, in each of his things, he talked about this evolution of an expert, like how do you evolve your message and your story. I was like, what if we took those three presentations and made that the offer. You can get these 3 presentations from Garrett, and that's this offer. And I was like, wait a minute, I remember when I asked Garrett to speak at this event, I voxed him the question, and he voxed me back at how he was going to pitch it. I was like, that's like a good hook for a video. So I found the Voxer message. I sat in the backyard, set up a camera, and I was like, hey, this is Russell. Thanks so much for buying the Expert Secrets book. Now, a lot of people who get involved with this, they're scared because they're like, I don't know if I want to be an expert. I'm not ready. I'm nervous. I'm guessing some of you guys probably feel that way too, right? Well, what I want to do, I want to make you guys a really special offer. We had this speaker who came to Funnel Hacking Line. His name's Garrett White. And before the last event, I asked him if he'd give a special presentation specifically on that. In fact, check out this Voxer message. And I play Voxer, and then Garrett's like, all right, brother, this is what I'm going to do. And he goes through this whole pitch of how he's going to do the presentation, which was, Garrett's the most amazing pitchman ever. And he explains it. And then I stopped and I was like, do you guys want that? Like, it's amazing. You guys should, all you got to do is click yes down below and we'll give you access to not just that presentation, but all the ones he's done in the past plus a bunch of other bonuses. And that became the offer. Okay, it was stuff we'd already done in the past. We just created a really good offer. We put it out there and put it in the funnel, and then we started driving more traffic to do the next test, okay? So here's the next numbers. We added that second upsell, and what it did is it added, we had about a 4.5% conversion rate on that upsell, which added $8.87 to our average car value. Big bump, which took us from $33 now to $42.80, which my total net now is $35.66. So that's more the range. I was like, this is the range is like where I need to be at to be that's about the range I want to be at, $35 to $40 or so. So it's awesome. And some people will just stop, and you could stop here, and now we got a really good funnel. But I was like, okay, what can we do next? Like, what's the next thing we can kind of do? All right. So my third funnel Audible, I was looking at these numbers again. I was like, I feel like the first upsell, 17.4%. It's not, 11%. The first upsell there, 11%. Like, it's not bad, but I think I have an idea to make it better. The first initial upsell was like the audiobook, but the offer was kind of confusing. And so I was like, hey, how do we simplify this offer? So I'm like, I want to figure out a better hook. I want to simplify the offer. What can I do? And so what we did is we went and instead it was basically like, hey, do you want the audiobook? I was like, I have a philosophy. If I can say the word free like 20 times in a video, they're more likely to give me money. So I was like, what if we do something like this? Where like, if you get the audiobook right now, you get a whole bunch of other stuff for free. And you're going to get this for free, and this for free, and this for free, and this for free, and this for free. And so I was like, I'm going to tweak it to where that's instead of like, hey, for $47 you can get the audiobook, I was like, this is the deal. I know you want the audiobook. You've invested $47. Let me tell you all the stuff you can get for free. And then I started going through all these other things. And so if you look at the way we changed the offer, this is what it looked like before, and we transitioned to this. So if they bought the audiobook, they got all these other things for free. Now, one thing I did when I was pitching this, every one of these bonuses they got for free had a really cool story behind it. Okay, this is what all you guys got to get better at doing is like, what's the hook behind why someone would want this offer? Okay, so I mentioned the audiobook for maybe 10 seconds at the beginning because I don't have to re-explain that. Like, hey, if you want the audiobook, if you buy it right now, this is what you get for free. I'm like, the first thing you're going to get for free, and this was a presentation. I was at Dean Graciosi's $100,000 group, and he had me come and do a presentation there. I did the presentation, and people were flipping out. And so what I did is I got the recordings of that presentation. So I didn't say, hey, there's some presentation of an event I spoke at. It's really, really awesome. It's a horrible hook. It's like boring, right? So I was like, this is the deal. When you get the audiobook, I'm going to hook you guys up some amazing things. The first thing, there's this guy. He has a mastermind group that's $100,000 a year to be part of, and there's 12 of us in it. Okay? So and when I was there, Dean asked me if I give a presentation on my best stuff I've never shared with anybody before ever, and I never share with it again. And so I said yes, and I did that presentation. So the only people that have ever seen this had to pay $100,000 to be able to watch that presentation. But I found out one dude in the back actually recorded it, and I got a copy of the recording. And I asked Dean if I could have it. He said, you can have it, but you can't just give it away for free unless somebody's bought something. I'm like, well, this is the perfect opportunity. If you buy the audiobook, I'll give you this presentation for free. Now, I want you to understand, the only people who've ever seen this paid $100,000. But if you get the audiobook today, I'm going to hook you up and give you that for free. And then the next thing I'm going to give you, and I start talking through all the other cool bonuses. You see how I do that? What a lot of you guys would do, I've seen your upsells. I watch a lot of what you guys are doing. You're like, hey, buy my thing. It's amazing, da-da-da, and you move on. It's like, get into like, why is that thing sexy? Like, why should they desire it? Like, how many of you guys right now are going crazy because you're like going to go rebuy the book because you want that upsell right now? Yeah, it was a really good presentation. You should definitely do it. Anyway, okay, so I tweaked, I simplified the offer. I tried to figure out how to make this as free as possible. Buy this thing, you get all this other stuff for free. I made the offer sexy as I could. We came back, we made those tweaks. We went from 11% conversion rate. It bumped up now to 21.5%, almost double conversions on that. You notice our cost per acquisition during this period actually went up a lot because our ads were running out, so we're making more ads at the same time. We had about $9.92 to the average cart value, which took it from $42 now to $47.55. Our total net now, because the acquisition went up, our total net was $23, but it's still really, really good. Okay? So now we're looking at this again. I'm like, okay, what's the next Audible I can call? What's the next thing I should be looking at? And then I had an idea. And I'm actually excited. Their next presenter who's going to be speaking after me is Dean Holland. And Dean and I went back and forth through Voxer, and I think he's going to be going a little deeper into this as well. But we had this idea. I did a variation of it, then he improved upon it, and then we started trying to one-up each other. But what we decided was do this thing that we call a thank you page webinar. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I think Dean's going to do it. But we created what we call a thank you page webinar. So on the thank you page, how do we create something that now ascends them up our value ladder? We talked yesterday a lot about value ladder. A lot of times we have a front-end offer, and then like later we introduce the next offer. But I was like, what if at the end of this funnel, after they bought and then a peak of like excitement, and they love us the most, what if then we introduce them to the next funnel? And so I took my actual entire webinar presentation, I did it live in front of a camera, and I said, thank you so much for buying the Expert Secrets book. It's going to be coming out to you, but I know it's going to take you guys 7 to 10 days to get this thing, and I don't want you waiting that time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start your training right here, right now. What we're going to do is we're going to cover 3 core secrets of becoming an expert marketer. Secret number 1, secret number 2, secret number 3. I teach for 45 minutes, transition to my pitch and my close. I sell ClickFunnels right there on the thank you page at $2,000 a pop, okay? So we did funnel stacking. We have a captive audience that's already there. We added this thing in. One other cool thing we did is we pre-framed the cost. So I did it, if you look at the headline here, it says, how to launch your expert business in the next 30 days for under $2,000. Okay, so as they're watching this thing, okay, it's going to be $2,000 for me to invest in, that's how much I need, and then at the end of it, the price happens to be $2,000 for them to invest. So I'm pre-framing that, so by the time they get to the pitch, they're like, oh, I need to spend, he told me it's going to cost $2,000 to be successful, and now that was the price, so it kind of washes it out, okay? So we have the thank you page webinar. Now again, it's a $2,000 offer, so our take rate's not huge, but right now, 0.5% of the people are taking the $2,000 offer on the thank you page webinar. If you can math on that, it's adding $9.99 to our average cart value, which took it from $47.55 to $57.52. Take away that, we're at $33 for every single book we sell. If you guys are wondering how we're selling so many books, it's because I can spend $57.52 to sell a book and still break even. Is that exciting? Yeah. Okay. But that's the game, you guys. So when you do something like this, you create a funnel and you launch as quick as possible, and then you sit back, let the market tell you what happens, and you look at it like, which one's broken? Page number 1 is doing horrible. Let's tweak that. Or page number 1 is doing awesome. What about this page over here? And you do the numbers and you just tweak, spend some more money. Tweak, spend some more money. And usually within 2 or 3 variations, we have a funnel that works. Okay? Now some of you guys are saying, Russell, this is awesome, but I don't sell books. What should I do? Huh. Okay. The good news, a lot of you guys don't sell books. In fact, writing a book is the hardest thing I've ever done, so maybe you shouldn't ever sell books. But this works for all sorts of stuff. So I actually asked Jamie Cross if she'd let me share her numbers with her. So Jamie, yeah, oh. So I asked her for permission to share her numbers, and thankful for us and for all, she said yes. So Jamie's business, they sell soaps and a whole bunch of lotions and things like that are amazing. And so I want to show you guys their numbers because you can kind of see behind the scenes how it works with something that's not a book offer. So this is how they work. Right now, they were running 3 ads. Has James told you that you guys have to do like 3 ads a week now yet? I asked James, like, show me all the ads. He's like, here they are. I'm like, there's 3? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you guys need to do like 3 or 4. Anyway, so these are the ads right now. The first one's costing them $10.87 to acquire a customer. Second one's $12.76. The third one's $19.50. Now, she's not selling a free plus shipping thing. She's actually selling physical soap. Or excuse me, it's the lotion bar on the front end. So their cost of acquisition right now is about $14.61. This is what their funnel looks like if you were whiteboarded out. Those are the 5 pages, okay? Page number 1, you come right here, and she has her perfect webinar of her pitching their product. And then 7.19% of people give their shipping address on page number 1. And page number 2 is where they actually sell the product. Now, they're getting 34.5% of the people to buy the product. And there's 4 or 5 different variations of offers you can do, but the average cart value now is adding $37.58 right there from the very first offer. So just that alone, before they even have the rest of the funnel, they're spending $14 and making almost $40, which is insanely good. Okay, then you go for the very first upsell where they're selling more of the exact same thing, which works super good in all e-commerce stuff. 19% of the people are buying more product on the next page, which is adding $4.73 to their upsell. Then they introduce the second product in their product line. And right now, 34.3%, this is insane, 34.37% of the people are taking the second offer, the second product in their funnel, which is adding $9.76 to their average cart value. And then they have their last offer at the end, and 4.25% of people are buying this, which is adding $3.07 to their cart value. So right now, the average cart value is $55.15. They're spending $14.61 to acquire a customer, which basically means they're making $40 for every single customer who comes to the funnel. Is that amazing? So awesome. This is after them tweaking and testing and things. But even like if someone was to hire me as a funnel consultant, I'd look at that, I'd be like, these numbers are really good across the board. But I'd be like, okay, the worst one is 19%. How can we make that one better? Funnel Audible number 1. What can we test? Let's try something out. Can we do this to this? Let's try something different. Let's try this first. And like, we just come up with ideas. And usually the crazier the idea, the better. It's like, oh, let's just try this. Let's try this. And we try it and we test it and see if we got 19 to 20 or to 25 or 30. That's a huge win, right? So we're just tweaking that. So every morning I'm coming in like with the mantra, how do I give myself a raise today? How do I give myself a raise today? How do I give myself a raise today? You come in, you look at your numbers, you're like, let's try that one. Okay, if you've got a really confusing funnel, you're gonna come in and be like, I don't know what to do. Email 86 on the 13th branch of the 34th tree, maybe we'll edit that email? Yeah, it's impossible. But if you keep your funnel simple, it becomes very, very, very easy, okay? All right, so those are basically the free plus shipping or front-end funnels. I want to show you guys other funnel types just to give you guys ideas of kind of the numbers that we're running with. I'm not going to go as deep on our test, but I'm going to show you guys some of the numbers so you're aware of what numbers can be. Okay, so this is for one of our webinar funnels. A couple tweaks we made. Instead of doing cost per acquisition, the number I look for is cost per registrant. Okay, and then I have different ads. So here's the different ads we're running to get people to register. Top ad is costing us, what does it say, $6 or $8 to get someone to register for the webinar. The second one's $3, someone's $12. This is the funnel, the webinar funnel. Right now, 23.5% of people land on, this is our funnel scripts webinar. 23.5% of people land on this page, opt in. And I want to, I forgot this. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a really cool test. So this is the first opt-in page. I want to show you guys an example to show you how simple some of these funnel audibles can be and how big the result can be from it. All right, so Mike and AJ are in our inner circle, and this was their webinar. Are you guys here? Oh, yeah, right there. You got, look, by the way, look at his shirt. Is this the most amazing shirt you've ever seen? Oh, I got my own now. Yeah. I don't know if you're allowed to wear a shirt with your own face on it, though. Is that, like, weird? Thank you, guys. All right, so they're in our inner circle, and they came to the last inner circle meeting, and they're like, our webinar sucks, Russell. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, this is our numbers. It's costing us $24.85 to get someone to register. And we're getting about 22% show-up rate. I was like, that does suck. And they're like, we're going to do a new funnel. We're going to try something different and everything. And I was like, well, let me look at it. So they showed it on the screen. I looked at it, and this is the headline. It says, how to add 6 figures to your web design business by copying my secret method for helping companies get more real 5-star reviews without selling, spending lots of time on money. So I don't know anything about the business or anything, but I looked at that, and I was like, my thought when I read that, I know exactly what your webinar is about, right? The webinar is about helping people get 5-star reviews. So like you're probably gonna teach me how to get people 5-star reviews. And like, I kind of know what it is. So like my conversion rate is probably, like that's my guess is like people can guess what it is by reading the headline. Like as marketers, one of our best things we have is curiosity. Like curiosity is the thing that's the best. So I was like, instead of telling them what it is, like tell them like what it's not. Like make it more, just change the headline, make it more curiosity based. We played a couple ideas. They retweaked the headline. This is the new version of the headline. It says how I added 6 figures to my web company by adding this one easy to offer service that doesn't require cold calling, spending lots of time, money, or require extra resources. And it says, and no, it's not Facebook ads, SEO, social, like all these, like, it's not this, or this, okay? So if we go back, the first time they ran it was $24.85 to get a registrant. Who can guess what the number was after the only change was the headline, right? You only changed the headline. So $24 and 22% show up rate. They changed the headline. All they did is added raw curiosity. It shifted from $24 registered to $5.84. Amazing. And because of the curiosity, their show up rate dramatically increased as well. That's the power. Like these things aren't like rocket science. It's little tweaks, little changes. We just shifted the curiosity of the headline and transformed their business. The message like 2 weeks later, like, oh my gosh, we're in business now. Like this thing's crushing it. We're killing it. And all we did was just make a little tiny tweak, okay? So again, these things are simple. So if I came back here, 23.5% conversion rates, okay, I was just like, can we tweak it? What headline can we tweak? Let's test this, How do I get myself a raise every day? So page number 1 of our auto webinar funnel is that. Number 2, 68% of people at this page automatically get directed to the webinar. Webinar starts right now. 9% of people who are on this webinar actually purchase. Those who hit the replay page, 33, which is interesting. I didn't know this until we ran the stats last week. 33% of people hit the replay page for us actually buy, which means I'm going to be going super intense on getting more people to watch the replay. And then 10.4% of people in the order form actually buy. So if you look at that, my cost to acquire a webinar, someone who to buy off the webinars costs us about $168 to get somebody to buy on the webinar. The product we sell is $497 a year. So math, $497 a year minus $168, we're making $329 for every single person that comes into this funnel. Okay? So those are some basic numbers. Now again, I wanted to share these with you guys so you get ideas of like, hey, this is like a baseline for your webinar. Is it getting these numbers? If so, awesome. If it's not, what are the funnel audibles you can call to try to tweak and shift and get things bigger for yourself, okay? All right, next one I want to show you guys. This is like one of our high-ticket funnels. So I shifted a couple of numbers in this one. This one, instead of cost per registrant or cost per acquisition, this one's cost per application. So in a high-ticket business like we're in, we're selling, we're trying to figure out how much do we spend for every single application that comes through. Okay, so as you see, every funnel, the numbers are a little bit different, but they're similar. So that's why I'm kind of showing you a different model or different funnels. So this one's cost per application, and then the revenue number, like average cart value, is how much money do I average from every single application that comes in. So those are the two numbers I'm playing with in this funnel. Okay, so for example, page number one, it's cost me $45 to get an application from this ad, $57 an application from this ad, and $78 an application from this ad. And I would drive them into a very, so on average, it's cost me $63 to get somebody to fill out an application for our coaching program. Okay, this is the funnel. It's a very simple three-step funnel. Page number one, we get about 14.3% of people who get this page go and give us their email address. Next page hits here, 32% of people who hit this page would fill out the entire application. And then the last page, then we call them on the phone and we sign them up for our coaching programs. We were averaging about $1,300 on the phone for every application we got, which means we spent $1,300 what we made. We spent about $63 per app, so $1,237 profit per app. Okay, so if you're in the high-ticket coaching business, that's the metrics. How much does it cost to get an application? How much do I make per application? And that's it. I mean, I could spend $1,200 to get an application and still break even, right? Obviously, I want this to be a profitable funnel. Right now, I said we're averaging about $63 to get an application, okay? So that's kind of how this whole game is played, you guys. It's all about launching a funnel as fast as you can, making the tweaks until you've nailed it. And after you've nailed it, now you can go back and you can start to scale it. Okay, and that's where we go through here with going from 0 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9 that we talked about yesterday. It's like now the funnel's working, now we start scaling and growing very, very rapidly. Okay, and some of you guys are like, Russell, I don't know what to test. I'm not a funnel guru like you. I don't know what to do. So what I want to do, I've got one of my friends here that is going to actually show you how I made fun of him and then he blew up his funnel. So this is Yada and James, and James has been working with us for the last few months getting our entire company systemized. But last year, he was working on a funnel, and I want him to actually come up and walk you guys through this process he did. Because they had a funnel that it didn't only flop, like it was real bad. And now it's real good. So he's going to kind of show you guys behind the scenes what that did, what tweaks they made, and show you guys behind the scenes. So if we can all stand up and give Mr. James P. Frill a huge standing ovation as he comes up on stage. Yeah! James, here you go.
Thanks, man. So that's right. So I'm up here to give you guys hope. If you have the worst funnel of all time, you're still maybe going to be able to make it work. So last year, I got a call from a friend, and he said, "Hey, I want to launch this funnel. It's a really cool thing. It's called Rose Club for Men. It's where we sell flowers, and then we get guys enrolled in a subscription service. So because most guys forget special holidays and things, I was like, that sounds like a really cool thing. We could just like send flowers to all these guys. Let me figure out how to build a funnel for this. So that's what this is all about, called Rose Club for Men. So we launched around Mother's Day last year, and we had some ads that we got online. Our average cost was $23.27. Okay, so without any other context, it's like, all right, maybe that's good, maybe that's not good. But I'll show you guys the funnel and why. I don't know if I was like crying like Spider-Man necessarily, but I
suppose. It sounded like on the line.
Maybe I was. I don't remember. So we had basically set things up. So we had a two-step. You guys saw the two-step order forms that Russell had for some of the books. We had that for the roses because I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could do a free plus shipping on roses? So that's what we were trying to do. So we had our first page, which is a landing page with the two-step opt-in. And on the opt-in, we had a little bit over 24% of people giving us their email address. I said, okay, let's see how this works. And then at the next step, where people are actually buying, taking the offer, was $19. So free plus $19 shipping. At this time, it was for 25 roses. So that sounded like a really good offer, and a lot of people thought it sounded, they're like, you guys are crazy to be giving away roses for $19. And we're like, we know, that's what we're trying to do here. So so we got our $19 at 6.2%. And then we had this second page where people just clicked to see different options that we had for an upsell. And we got 0 upsells. I was like, yes, right? Because that's what you want, right? We all dream about building this amazing funnel, and then it doesn't do anything. You're like, okay. So I was like really annoyed. And then, then we had 0. There's all the zeros here, so you guys can really enjoy this with me. I'm reliving this. And cost us more money to acquire a customer than we were making, and
Plus
so
you had to ship the stuff too.
yeah. Plus we had to ship the stuff. We had to pay for the flowers. And I was like, well, in about 3 days, I'm going to be bankrupt with this funnel that I built. Thanks, Russell, for introducing me to funnels. I'm one funnel away from bankruptcy at this point. So I guess I look like that emoji at this point in time. I was like, okay, this is not how it's supposed to work. So this was what the page looked like. We got it, bigger so you guys could see it. And I was like, man, you know what? I was modeling. I don't know if you guys know the FiberFix funnel. Any of you guys saw that in one of the Funnel U things? And Russell was talking about. I was like, how hard could this be, right? So this is what it looked like. This is what the FiberFix funnel looked like. And I looked at it and I was like, yep. I think this looks pretty close. I don't know why mine's not working. So I felt defeated, and that's when I voxed Russell, and I said, listen, man, I don't vox him a whole lot, and I said, look, I got this thing going on. I'm bleeding money right now. This sucks. And he voxed me back, and he said, all right. He's like, I took a look at it, and everything is wrong with it. It's like, okay, cool, right? Another humbling moment. First I have the zeros, and then Russell's like, it sucks. So I said, well, what sucks about it? And he went through and he said, look, if you're going to model this funnel, you actually have to model like all of the elements of this funnel. And he went through, and this Voxer was like 3 minutes long. He's like, you missed this thing, you missed this thing, you missed this thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. So what did I do? That was like a Friday or a Saturday night. I don't remember exactly. I had 2 monitors on my desk, and I pulled up the FiberFix funnel, and I pulled up mine, and I went through like pixel by pixel by pixel. I was like, there is not going to be any difference between these two by the time I'm done. It took me like 6 hours.
Do you want to tell them some of the things I told you before?
Yeah. So some of the things that you'll notice here, simple things, but like. Do these 2 pages look sort of the same to you guys? Like, how many people would look at this and be like, yeah, this is pretty much the same thing? Okay, well, you're better than me. There's only 3 people who thought the same thing that I did. So, but notice a couple things, right? So the first thing that you'll see in he said, all right, your ego has gotten the best of you. Your logo needs to be smaller. I was like, okay, fine. I'll make my logo smaller. So we made the logo smaller, and we pushed it up and to the left. The headline, the little thing in like the dotted line box, if you read that, you'll notice that the one on the left, my original one, doesn't have as much scarcity embedded in it. So I changed the language in that to say, hey, as of today, whatever day we're at, we still have some in stock. We pushed the headline up, the main headline, and actually changed it to be way more about the offer itself and less about something like catchy, right? 25 roses for free for mom versus get 25 roses for free, just pay $19 delivery. So it was much clearer what we were doing. Like he said, look at the buy box where people enter their name and their email and everything. He's like, we put a red bar above that on FiberFix. How do I go back like this? Yeah. So that red bar above the opt-in He's like, you're totally missing that. He's like, you don't even have that. I was like, all right, fine. The fields, like the words in the fields when people type their name in, like originally it said, your full name or whatever, and then we changed it to say sender name. So we made the language friendlier. We changed the button to green. He's like, your button's not green, James. He's like, what are you thinking? And I was like, Russell. He's like, you're never going to sell anything like this. I was like, I know. The language underneath the button, like everything, line by line by line. And what he said was something that was super profound for me to hear. And I've taken it forward, and like everything else I've done, he's like, these little things matter a lot. And I was like, okay, cool. Like he said that, but I hadn't seen the after, right? I just had this horrible disfigured funnel before picture. So I said, okay, cool. So let's take a look at what these numbers actually look like. So we made all these little changes. And so here were my numbers, my unimpressive numbers from before. 93 cents earnings per click, $19 average cart value, which is because they weren't buying anything after the original thing. And I said, all right, so I made all these little changes, spent 6 hours on a Friday or Saturday night and changed it to this. Tripled the earnings per click. Now I'm really one funnel away from something better, right? So, and we also increased our average cart value to over $33. So, this has been said before, but it's worth repeating. Do what Russell says. Okay? It's not just like something fun to say. Just do it. Okay, so here's what things changed to. So we had our ad cost before. Our acquisition cost went from 23 on this ad to 20.
The acquisition cost dropped when the conversion went up.
Yeah.
Like all the ad cost, when you do these funnel tweaks, like it serves on both sides. Like, oh my gosh, more people sign up, so the ad cost drops, and so you get the lift on both sides, which is cool.
Yeah, because you got to figure, like, if you're paying for traffic, you're paying for those clicks to get to the page, but the page is working better, it's going to cost you a lot less to get somebody, right? So our acquisition cost dropped. Our overall average dropped from 23 to 16, which was awesome. Then this 24.5% opt-in on the front end actually shot up to 63. How crazy is that? Like, they were just small, right, insignificant changes, but they worked a lot. So we went from 63% opting in, which is great because now we can follow up with these people through an abandoned cart sequence and everything like that. Then we had increase to 10.5 or a little over 10.5% on our buy. So people taking the offer increased as well. So right now, our average cart value is still the same, but here's where it got really cool. So we still had the same people clicking on that thing, but now 16.2% of them were actually taking our upsell. So that bumped us up to an extra $14.48 on our cart value, which brought us to an average cart value of 33.5, and our cost per acquisition declined, so we actually were making some money. Okay, so these are from like some super simple tweaks, you guys. And I think, the reason that you wanted to share this was because it was like this horrible thing at the beginning. Give everybody hope, because everybody needs hope, right? But the other important thing to realize here is that when you launch a funnel that's not working, that doesn't mean the funnel's not working. It just means it's time to dig in and start diagnosing and calling these audibles and actually see how to improve it. But here's the crazy thing. So we continued over the last year to call funnel audibles, to make improvements, and to do all this, all this stuff. You guys want to see how this funnel performed last month?
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
Woo!
Yeah. Do what Russell says.
Awesome. Let's give James a huge round of applause.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, do you guys see how this game is played? This is exciting. People think I'm a genius. I'm not. What I do, I go and I find funnels that are currently working, that we know. I model them as close as I possibly can. Then I spend $1,000 and let the market tell me if I did it right. if they say no, I look at the numbers. I'm like, which one doesn't work? And usually it's one or maybe two things that are broken. I pick the ones broken. I'm like, let's try this. I spend more money. Crap, that didn't work. Let's try this. Ugh. Let's try this. Oh, it worked. Yay. And then we scale it. Like it's literally, that's the game, you guys. And it's so much fun. When you have these little wins, you go from, 16% to 64%? This is a multi-million-dollar company now, which this time last year was just a hole in the bucket, losing money every single day. So I hope this shows you guys how this game is played. I want everyone thinking it through this, like speeding things up, creating a funnel, launching it, getting out there, testing it quick as you can, and now you can go back and make the tweaks, make the changes, make the tweaks, make the changes. And typically it's not a huge process. Usually within 2 or 3 tweaks, we have a winner. And if you don't know what to tweak or what to test, find someone else in this room. Most of the times it's not, like it doesn't have to be you as a great marketer to do it. In fact, it's funny because Todd is a great marketer, but Todd, who built ClickFunnels, he's a developer. The way we did this, before we built ClickFunnels, what we used to do is I would build the best version of funnel we could. We'd do this test, we'd see what would happen, and then Todd would log in and try to beat me. How many of you guys have read our 108 split test book? Do you notice that every split test that Todd did beat mine? Like I did all the work going through funnel hacking, figured things out, make the best possible thing I could, and I'd launch it, and then he'd be like, he set up one split test, he's like, I think that's confusing, what if we try this? And he beats me. I'm like, he beat me every time. Okay? Just look at it, have someone else look at it, have your wife look at it, like a lot of times what we do, we have people who don't even understand what funnels are. I'm like, go through these pages, tell me what they think. And like we had this on one of our upsells from the Expert Secrets book. It was crazy. Under the video, I had the big red headline that had the offer in it. And the person we had was one of our people at Workforce who was like brand new. She'd never really done anything before, like in funnels. And she's like clicking on this red headline and she's clicking. She's like, why can't I buy this thing? I'm like, why are you clicking on the headline? She's like, because it's red. It looks like a button. I'm like, wow. I didn't even know. So I took away the red back behind the button and then she's like, scroll down and click the button. I'm like, oh, like there's a lot of times dumb little things. Like you don't have to be a rock star. Just look at the numbers, pick the one to play with first, and then just guess. And have someone else guess. And look at things, get ideas, and just try things. And within 2 or 3 tweaks, usually hit it. And after you nail it, then you can scale it. And that's why this game is so much fun. In fact, that's my last slide here, is after that you've nailed it, and then you can scale it. So I hope that gives you guys hopes for your funnel. I hope you understand the path and the process. And with that said, I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this presentation.